After a classic Western New York winter wonderland game, the Bills are going west. And despite the Tupac song, I don't know about the whole to live and die in LA thing, but I do think that the Mafia Minute is the place to be. I am Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, and we are previewing the Week 14 matchup with the Bills traveling to LA to face the Rams. Thank you very much for checking out the Mafia Minute. We're presented by Seeds of Gap Fantasy Football. Find us wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. We're on social media at Seeds of Gap FF and on the web at mafiaminute.com. It's very easy to remember, just like the flaps. Please don't forget them. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure you hit the thumb. And Jamie G, how are you doing with this one? Is it the usual just cautious optimism, or are you letting yourself leak past that a little bit? Could this be a trap game? What are the feelings heading to the West Coast?
Still feeling absolutely fantastic after that Sunday night football performance in the snow. It was awesome. Still riding it high, but as we switch gears and look to this matchup against the Rams, I'm cautiously optimistic, Mills, and I think for good reason. I'm curious to see how this Bills team responds after just winning their fit. I mean, they won the division. They still haven't. They got T-shirts and hats. They haven't even played the Patriots yet, a team in their own division. How will they handle that level of success? How will they keep the focus and the foot on the gas, so to speak, chasing the one seed, chasing home field throughout, and chasing a Super Bowl title? I'm curious to see. So I want to see them continuing to get better each and every week, and we'll see how they respond this week. So excited about it, but cautiously optimistic. And I think the Rams are a good team.
Let's begin with a little Bills on Parade, the latest Buffalo Bills news and whatnot. Not a ton here, but we do have two little tidbits here, starting with a return. Guess who's back? Safety Micah Hyde signed with the Bills practice squad, and he kind of knows the deal here. Nothing is guaranteed. That's been made very clear. He's not stepping right into a starting role or anything. He's there. He's on the practice squad. He willingly accepted this role. He's going to be, trying to provide leadership, be a mentor, be there on the sideline. Will he get in the game at some point? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. You don't quite know. He said, listen, I'm here to help. I left my ego in San Diego, perhaps along with his wallet. I don't know what else happens in San Diego. How excited are you about this one, man? I know this is one of your guys, and even if he doesn't get on the field, it's worth it just to have him around, right?
100%. I always said I thought he would be a fantastic coach. His relationship with not just every single person from a player standpoint in that locker room, but the coaching staff, Bobby Babich, Sean McDermott, the front office. The guy is a Bill to the core. I love this, man. He deserves to be there. They think they have a legitimate shot at making a run and winning the Super Bowl, which they do, and he deserves to be a part of it. And I think the team just got better. Like I said, whether he is getting on the field and starts at safety, plays, or simply is just the eyes and ears and in the safety room and on the defense, I love this dude. I absolutely love having him back. He's a hell of a player. He's a great human being. This is just huge, man. It's awesome.
Is it wrong that I want him to wear the full Bobby Boucher Waterboy thing and then at some point just run on the field and deck somebody when they're all suited up and he's just in the Waterboy thing? I feel like for some reason that would just be, I know that would be a big fine, but that would be like the most viralist moment ever and it would be super awesome. And
Maybe Fitz would pay it. Fitz is paying fines for
he's
Bills
paying
players.
fine. I mean, Adam Sandler is making Happy Gilmore too. Maybe that would inspire him to make Waterboy too, starring Micah Hyde. Perhaps that could happen. Sometimes people like to move things forward. Sometimes they like to look back and reflect on things. And I know that former Bills safety Jordan Poyer isn't at the top of your list right now, but his wife Rachel Bush had some very complimentary things to say about the Bills on social media. She said, things that have been 100% confirmed for me this year: simplicity is better. Just play ball. I don't know why everyone isn't taking notes from Buffalo on this. Hard work and camaraderie beats talent any day. Lastly, what the guy started building 8 years ago in Buffalo can't be replicated. That's what she said on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. So again, even if you're not big into Jordan Poyer, score points for his lady friend, right?
Yes and no, Mills. I can't tell if this is. I've never been a big Rachel Bush fan at all. And I can't tell if she's gaslighting, if this is like a passive aggressive backhanded compliment. On one hand, she's saying, are you saying that we're not talented? We just work hard and we have good camaraderie. On the other hand, you're saying, I don't know why that people aren't taking notes, but this can't be replicated. I don't know. I wish she just would have said, I was wrong in trying to get Jordan to go to Miami for all these years. He's miserable. He's not winning football games, and he misses playing in Buffalo. That's what she should have said.
I think that might be the subtext there. So the grass is not always greener on the other side. That's how I took it. And again, Miami. It's one of those places I feel, again, I'm sure if you live there, you love it. But, most of what I know from Miami, I know from watching sports and Dexter. So a little bit iffy. Good food, though. I've heard very good things about the food. Let's get into the game preview, starting with the tail of the tape. This is week 14 of the 2024 season. The Bills are 10-2, headed to face the 6-6 Los Angeles Rams. This game kicks off at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch it on Fox or the Sunday Ticket. The Bills are currently 3.5-point road favorites, minus 180 on the money line, while the Rams are 3.5-point home underdogs, plus 150 on the money line. The game total is 49.5 points. That's the highest game total on the board for Sunday. No weather concerns here as we've got a roof and it is not on fire or falling apart like the one in Jerry World. Pretty short injury report for the Rams. Offensive tackle Alaric Jackson is questionable, as is wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. They're listing tight end Tyler Higbee as questionable, but he's still on IR. And Sean McVay indicated he doesn't think Higbee will make it back this week. So more Cody Parkinson and everybody else there, the tight end by committee. On the Bills side of the ball, you still have a couple players who missed last week with wide receiver Keon Coleman and tight end Dalton Kincaid. And then you have defensive tackle Dwayne Carter and offensive tackle Tylen Grable. Both have been practicing, still listed on IR. And then you have a couple other players listed as questionable. Tight end Quentin Morris, he's got a shoulder groin thing. Safety Taylor Rapp, he's got a neck shoulder thing. And Curtis Samuel caught up with the foot clan again. Any thoughts on these, JBG? Right now it's looking that Coleman and Kincaid are trending in the positive direction. So just kind of knock on wood and fingers crossed that we're at full strength here. Or still a little bit of apprehension about any of these guys.
A little bit of apprehension on Kincaid, and I know he was practicing. That's great. Coleman, especially, some of the other guys we've seen, come back from that wrist injury. Coleman's still out there. I'm really hoping this is the week we can get him back. Taylor Rapp's one that concerns me. I hope that he's still able to play. He's quietly put together a pretty good season at strong safety for the Bills. And one guy that I'm interested in is Dwayne Carter. He's been practicing in full, so it'll be interesting to see when he comes back and what that does to the defensive line rotation after they sign Quentin Jefferson and Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, you got to be excited about that. That at least the injury report is trending in the correct direction for once. It's getting shorter, not longer. In this case, that's a good thing. Now we need to get into the keys, JBG's keys to be specific. You know my keys. These are the keys to victory for week 14. What do the Bills have to do to secure the victory this week in LA?
Yeah, number one, Mills, they got to limit the explosives and the big plays to those wide receivers. I think when you play the LA Rams, you worry about containing both Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. They're both on the field. They're both relatively healthy. I think limiting the big plays. I know the Bills have generally been good against the pass, but they're going to have a really big test this week in how they contain those two guys and not give up the big play. They're one of the better teams in the league at not giving up the big play. They're going to have to really do it this week against the Rams. Number two, one of the ways you attack this Rams offense is you take advantage of the offensive line. And I think the Bills' defensive front really needs to win this week. They need to get after Stafford, hit him, get him off the spot, force him into errant throws, and get him on the ground. If they do that, I think that'll be a long day for that Rams offense, and the Bills should have success. Number three, when I look at the way to attack and protect against this Rams defense, I think they have some really good young players up front. Two great defensive linemen they drafted from Florida State. That's where I think the concern is within that front seven. And for the Bills, they got to really protect and win up front. It all starts up front. Protect Josh, and I think the rest will the rest will happen on its own the way we want. So those are my three keys for this week. They get those done, and I expect to have a victory.
Now we're coming in hot because we need some predictions and we want a little variety in our predictions, just like we want in our Buffalo Wings. So why don't you go ahead and give us a mild prediction, a medium prediction, and a hot one? What do you have for us this week? How's it going down in week 14?
Mills, we're going to keep the mild with flavor and just a little bit of spice here. The Buffalo Bills will rush as a team for 100 plus yards. May not sound like much, but I want to see him do it. It's mild. I think they can get over the 100-yard marker. I think they do it. That's our mild. The medium coming in with a typical Buffalo medium. It's spicy, it's flavorful, and if you keep eating it, it'll make you sweat. The Buffalo Bills will score 30 plus points. Do not take that for granted, Bills Mafia. That's an awesome number. Let's get it done one more time. And then I have to keep running this. It's a streak. We got to keep doing it. Coming in hot here with the spice. The Bills will force another turnover for the 13th game in a row. They've done it every game this season. I am saying they will get it done one more time here. 13, baby, in a row. That's pretty incredible. Go Bills.
Anything else in particular about the game that we haven't touched on yet that you'd like to highlight here?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of really good coaching battles here. I'm really curious to see how Bobby Babich does against Sean McVay. Sean McVay is a good coach who's been known to make good offensive adjustments in game. Curious to see how McVay does, Bobby Babich does against McVay. Sean McDermott has had some success in the past, but he's also given up some yards and points in the past. So curious to see how that happens. And then, will Joe Brady continue to roll here, man? Will he continue to have the big day that he has? So curious to see how the positional battles at the coaching staff level does this week.
All right, now let's close your eyes here, and I just want you to get out your mental dream board, or maybe you have a real one in your room, whichever is fine. And I want you to manifest some Mafia magic. I want you to imagine your dream scenario for this game and will it into victory. What is the dream scenario for this Week 14 game?
God, that's a nice, warm, fuzzy thought. Mel's dream scenario is we're going to open up, get the ball first, which typically I'm not a fan of, but we're going to. We're going to open up with a long, time-consuming 8, 9, 10-minute drive, go up 7-0, immediately force a 3 and out, put together another drive and go 14-0 to end the quarter. That's it. Q1's done. It's 14-0 Bills. The next series, we get an interception and then go up and score 21-0. We're 21-0 in the second. We completely change the Rams game plan. They're forced to be one-dimensional, and the Bills defense just tees off on Stafford. I'm talking about Von Miller gets one. I'm talking about Gregory Rousseau gets one. I'm talking AJ Epinesa gets one. Ed Oliver gets one. It's a damn party. The Bills are getting sacks on Stafford like nobody's business. We go on to win the game 35-13.
Okay, I like that. I like that. We'll see if you're as bold when we get to your official final score prediction. But first, we have to tee up our Bills bets because we want to watch the game. We want to enjoy watching the game, and we'd maybe like to make a couple of bucks while we're doing it. We are up on the season on these. If you put all our stuff together, we're up about 674 Bills bucks, leading the way with our tripods, our 3-leg single game parlays. We're up 625 there. JBG's up about 247, while I'm trailing him down about 198. But we both hit one last week, trying to turn it around this week. I'm going to go first here, and I'm going to take Matthew Stafford under 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's minus 105. So 100 Bills bucks will bring it back about 195. Jamie G, what's your Bills bet for Week 14?
I'm gonna go with James Cook because when James cooks, everybody eats. Give me James Cook 70 plus rushing yards. It's plus 105. It's a good number for 70 yards. $100 there to win 205. Go Bills.
Let the man cook. Stay out of the kitchen. Let him do his thing. That brings us to our tripod, which once again is a 3-leg single game parlay. We are getting these odds from Draftkings, so this is where they are available. And we're not quite working with a full menu here, so we had to be a little bit creative. Leg number 1, still nice and sturdy. We have James Cook over 65.5 rushing yards. That is minus 115 on its own. Then we have Khalil Shakir, 60 plus receiving yards, plus 105. The man is like clockwork. He's going to get his 7 to 9 targets. He is hitting that at 60 plus. And then finally, we're going to go with one of the predictions. We're saying the Bills will score over 29.5 points this week. So 30 plus, that is plus 136 on its own. You put these three together: James Cook over 65.5 rushing yards, Shakir over 60 receiving yards, and Buffalo over 29.5 points. Your odds are plus 575. So 100 Bills bucks brings you home 675. Won't pay for the entire holiday, but you will be heading in the right direction. You can at least make a dent in that credit card bill. And another way you can make a couple of bucks is to go over on DraftKings, jump into the Showdown contest they have over there for this Bills at Rams game. We call these our Draft Joshes because even though DraftKings say they're the king on the Mafia Minute, Josh Allen is the one true king. So, of course, he is our consensus captain. Wildly expensive at $18,000 this week, but you get what you pay for. And unless you're going to go to the Rams side of the ball, not a lot of other ways you could go. And if you're looking for a tournament captain here, you're looking to move off Josh Allen, James Cook's going to be almost as pricey and almost as popular. So why not drop down to Khalil Shakir at 12,600? Maybe he's finally getting that day, 100 yards, one or more touchdowns, going to be lower owned and saves you a lot, almost $6,000 from Josh Allen. And don't worry, you can still get Josh Allen in there in your flex. It's not like you have to forego him. And if you want to save some money on the higher end, you could go with one of the tight ends. If Kincaid plays, he's 6,800. If he's out, you could drop down to Dawson Knox at 4,800. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of value underneath that. The wild card maybe would be the Buffalo Bills defense special teams at 4,400. If Jamie G's dream scenario is going to come into effect here, you're getting 5 sacks, a couple turnovers. Maybe you don't even need to take one to the house to pay it off. And you are going to have to play somebody on the other side of the ball. I think the top play here in the tournament is probably Puka Nacua, 9,800 in your flex. But if you're looking to save some money somewhere and you want to go with someone on the Rams side of the ball, don't be afraid to throw a dart at Tutu Atwell. He's only $2,800. He's their big play guy. They'll scheme up a couple of deep shots, maybe a run for him. Returns kicks on occasion here. If he can get one long one, that pretty much pays off that price tag. Not a lot of other value on this slate. And so if you're in a tournament, we definitely think our favorite stack's going to have Josh Allen in there at the captain, play him with Shakir, get another receiver, another tight end, then run it back on the other side, either with Nakua, Cooper Kupp, or Kyron Williams. And in a tournament, we said go with Shakira captain, but you can also go with James Cook, work the rest of those guys in there, another valid tournament captain there. So a lot of fun stuff here on DraftKings. This is one of their featured showdown slates this week, so should be a wide offering of contests at different price points if you want to jump in. And the last order of business is the final score prediction. We're going to see if Jamie G's as bold as he was in his dream scenario here. What are you thinking, man? Give us your real life true heart. We know you're going to pick the Bills to win, but what's the final score going to be here in week 14?
I am going to pick the Bills to win, Mills, but I'm not going to be quite as bold. I've got the Bills 30, the Rams 17. Go Bills.
Okay, 30-17. So he likes the big cover there. We're feeling that, and we will be back in a couple of days with the review on the game. Hopefully, it's another fun one because we like having fun here on the Mafia Minute. Thank you for riding with us all season long. The Mafia Minute is presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. Find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Caesar Gap FF and on the World Wide Web at MafiaMinute.com. Try to keep it easy to remember, just like those flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please remember the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills, and Jamie G has the final task here to get you as fired up as possible heading into this Week 14 showdown.
Bills Mafia, what's up? I know we've been riding high. Let's keep the good energy going. I know you guys will show up in LA loud and proud. Let's take over that stadium. Let's make that a home game for us. I know we can. I believe we will. And listen, we got to keep our foot in the gas here. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep winning games, keep stacking, keep getting better. We'll see you on the flip side. And remember, when it's too tough for them, it's just right for us. Go Bills.
That I've learned. I sat in the chairs and my synapses burned. The torture of chalk dust collects on my tongue. Thoughts follow my vision and dance in the sun.